One of the prime examples that I've seen is not so long ago, we had one client who put in 13 new users in the space of like 10 minutes through Rewst.
Brilliant.
Not a single engineer touched any of them.
It's great. That's brilliant.
So I think use that as an example.
And we smash tickets so quickly sometimes that sadly they're twiddling their thumbs. So the last thing we want to do is increase the headcount, because automation is doing so much
helps
of it.
them. It helps them upskill. Best way to kind of put it. They have that time where, like Charlie said, we're not having to replace people, but it gives us time to upskill the engineers we've got, so they enjoy it more. They're like, oh wow, look at all this I'm getting out of this, and as well as that, it works well for a business, because the fact is, we've got an amazing, like barely anybody ever leaves us. I think our average is like 4.6 years. So it that helps with that, because people feel valued, because you're giving them kind of, like Charlie said, they're going on site and stuff like that, stuff they want to do.
We
have that time to do it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, perfect.
We've only been on Rewst for 9 months. Now you imagine where we're going to be in 12 months' time from now. Now I know my signed up, but now I know what I'm doing on Rewst, and I know stuff to how to push out things, stuff like that, and we're getting more and more clients involved. That's just going to scale massive.
Yeah, and it's it's important that people understand as well that it's not just the service department that can be leveraged by, we're looking at the accounts and admin side, the finance side, reconciliation, professional services, auditing clients, how it can pull information in. So we're not,
So we're saving over 100 hours now.
Hi, Charlie Clark. Hi, Gareth Smith. Thanks for joining us today. Appreciate it. So the reason why we're having this call today is to show the power of Rewst's platform and how our partners are delivering exceptional value for their own clients and for their own automation purposes as well. So we're joined by your IT department. So thanks for joining, guys. Really appreciate it.
No problem.
And
thanks for having us.
Thank you. Fantastic. So today what we're going to be talking about is the guys at your IT, not only are they using Rewst for their own internal processes, they're also using it to help our partners deliver exceptional value by looking at certain automations that can be delivered. So today we're going to be looking at new user onboarding, how quickly that can be automated, password MFA resets, compromised mailboxes, and approval processes. Now, the reason why we're doing this because we want to show the power of the platform. So these guys, they're already doing it. These folks, they're already automating, and they are able to differentiate themselves in the MSP market because they've already automated. So if we can imagine these guys, they go into their client, and amongst a lot of sales questions, they're going to say, are you using an MSP today? And that client, they're going to want them to say yes. And then what they'll do is they'll say, out of these 8 things, how quickly can your MSP automate them? Or how quickly can your MSP deliver these 8 things? And obviously, because you guys are using automation, you're not going there to talk about automation. You're going in there to talk about how automation is a differentiator and how you're going in there to actually sell the benefit of automation. Now, since you've kind of automated that client in this kind of example, you're already providing them business value. So you maybe, make their EBITDA better, and they're able to scale through other means, not just through hiring, but through automation. And now you guys are going to be graded by not whether or not their computers work, but you're going to be graded by the impact of their business. So imagine how sticky your clients will be when they're running your automations. So that's what we want to do today, show you how you can differentiate by having these automations to be able to sell as an automation as a service to your clients. So over to you guys. How are we going to get started on this? Are we going to look at maybe new user onboarding first, do you think?
Yeah, so I was going to kind of demonstrate how easy it is for clients to essentially run the new users and get them all set up and sorted. And it's pretty quick in its execution as well. So it starts off with a nice simple form, which essentially asks for details that you would normally ask for the client for anyway. The name, first name, last name. But on our side, we can pretty this form up. So essentially, whenever you type your first name and last name, it'll automatically populate the username based off the client's naming convention. So in our case, it's first name dot last name. If it was first initial last name, it would do it that way as well. And in regards to the domains, you can print it up so you don't have, on Microsoft and stuff like that. So essentially, you can customize this form to show the clients exactly what they need rather than things that they don't need to. And here you just fill out your normal questions that you need, so such as job title, any specific phone number. So the office phone number here, you'll only need to put this if it's essentially different to the main office number you already have in your PSA. So in our case, ConnectWise, so if this is blank, it will automatically default their main office number to whatever it is on ConnectWise. Here you can add your office location, so this is more specific for 365. If they have multiple offices up and around the country or around the world, essentially you can put where this location is. So that means then it will say when this client's created, where they're based and everything like that, which will help. You can select a manager as well for them, and you've got your general stuff here. So you've got your choice between security groups, distribution groups, your licenses, and even shared mailbox if you want to. And also it gives a little note here. So this will only at the moment do the new user setup. One day we'll hopefully automate the full machine setup as well. We're not quite there just yet. So here they can put in any notes they want on, if they need X, Y, Z machine setting up, and software list they need on here. Once they hit submit, it goes through the normal process and everything is updated on a ticket. So as you can see here, it'll say who's filled it out, everything we need for auditing purposes. So if we ever need to take over anything, essentially, say the workflow failed, we've got everything right in front of us, so we can quickly pick it up, and it updates from whether it's getting approval to essentially when it's complete and done. And as you can see here, it even sets the contact details as well in your PSA. And also, when it does a manager on each section, it will essentially tell you. So this is really good, and not just for the clients, but for us as well, because it saves us time, and two, the clients are always guaranteed it's going to be happy, because this thing, takes a few minutes to do, and it follows your own processes. So if you use, approvals and stuff like that, you essentially build all that into this, so it can work around you.
That's it. And would I have to do this form for every single new client? Would I have to kind of recreate this form, or can it be automatically set for all of my clients?
Yeah, so I essentially only have one form that's split. That basically works for all our clients. So you can set certain things up and certain conditions inside a form. So you only want things to appear, for example, if they're on-prem, or if they're on-prem, they should be able to see the servers and everything else. Where if they're on 365, they don't need to see that, so you can hide it. So you can customize that one form depending on that client. You don't have to recreate it 1,000 times over.
Wow, must save a hell of a lot of time for you and your clients.
It definitely does. It means even anything we create one form for all our workflows, and we can then customize it depending if needed.
Yeah, perfect. Definitely saves a lot of time in the background. It improves the SLA performance for our customers. Client satisfaction straight away. They're gifted with a piece of technology that allows them to put automations through that can be completed there and then. There's no more. We've got a last minute user on a Friday. We can't service that until Monday. We needed more notice. It's here you go, put that through. We can do it now. Your password will be with you in hopefully 5 to 10 minutes, as long as the workflows in the background do their jobs. It's really leveraged itself as a piece of kit for us on the service desk. It's an excellent tool.
Great.
Next bit. Shall we go next bit?
Yeah.
Automation.
Approval, sorry. Yeah, so the approval process, which I'm about to show, is something that we have integrated into everything, all our workflows, every single one we have, including just the general tickets. So I'm going to show you kind of what that approval process looks like. Kind of see what the approvers see, stuff like that as well, and then I'll show you kind of quickly how it looks in a workflow level. Right. So if we go into here, We'll go to this one first, actually. So this is essentially the new employee approval, for example. So the one I'd have initially submitted. So we use ConnectWise, and essentially when you send approval inside the ticket, it will tell the approvers kind of that last email, but then they'll get all the rest of the ticket with it. They don't need all that. Here, it simplifies absolutely everything. They get the exact information they need. So, everything we selected. So even what department they're at, or what if there's any groups. So going back to what I said about the forms, it applies here as well. So depending if they're on-prem or anything like that, will depend on the result of how this looks. So I'm not having to change it 1,000 times over. I'm only having to create it once. And then tell them who submitted, and they get a simple approve or deny button. That's it. That's all they need to do. So even if they're busy and stuff like that, essentially they can go and hit approve and deny. Now for us, it's or as an MSP, this is a massive time saver in the fact of, it's automatically going to get that approval. We're not having to CC anybody into a ticket or anything like that. This is going off to do it all for us. So as soon as a user submits a form, it does all the legwork for us, which makes it's quick, it's effective, and we've had some really, really good results from it. So we thought, right, how could we make this even better? How can we integrate it into further things? So we also integrated it into our everyday ticketing system. So as you can see here, this is just a general example. So we've got an approval request with a ticket ID and stuff like that. All this is let me quickly show you. All this is a little tiny workflow, so it doesn't have to be too complex or anything like that. And all it does is when ConnectWise is put into an approval process status, this will automatically run. And what all this simply does is it goes and gets that form for the approval process and adds a link inside a ticket, which looks like this. So all it is a nice little form. Somebody can click, and then there we go. Essentially, you've got your little message and everything here, and then off you pop. It's not going to send all the rest of the whole entire ticket, because again, approvers don't need that. They just need the basic stuff, and it'll say here who it sent the approval to, and if it's been approved or denied. And that means then, if this was to install something, so for instance, somebody wanted a third-party application installing. This has already got the approval, or it's been denied, so we can straight away proceed with that ticket. Just makes life, a lot easier and clean. And again, it keeps the clients happy, because it's a nice, simple process for them. They're not having to read too much.
That's a good point you make, isn't it? Really, it's actually, it's improving customer satisfaction, because you've got these reliable automations that they can use.
Yeah, exactly. And even on their busy days, it keeps it nice and short for them. They're not having to go read what's going on in the background. They're getting sent the information that they need to read essentially straight away here. So here's another one. This is a timeout test. Obviously, just so example, you type what you want in here. They hit approve or deny on kind of whatever you want, and that's it. They don't have to reply. They don't have to do anything like that. It's just press of a button for them.
Great. That's fantastic. Right. What's next?
So I was going to quickly actually show, building on the approval process, I do apologize, just quickly show you what it looks like, because it's all right me keep showing you kind of what it looks like client side, but we need to see what the actual workflows themselves look like. So here is the whole approval process. It is nice and simple, and the good thing is about Rewst, if you create something, you can use it multiple times. So as you can see here, this is just called approval process. So because I use it for everything, I'm not having to create an approval process for new users, then another one for offboarding or anything like that. I've created it once, and now I can integrate it with all of them, because Rewst really powerful in the way that you can clean things up, make things in sub workflows, so you can pass them on and stuff like that. So as you can see here, we've got all these little subjects here, but as you can see, I haven't put no code in here. No big long codes or anything to send nice pretty emails. That's actually done on a top level. So I only have to edit it in one place, and that's it. It's done. And again, I'll show you. This is what's all inside that workflow. So again, I'm not having to ever touch this. I built it once. That's it. I don't ever have to come into this unless there's obviously a problem in an error. But yeah, it's all passed from the top level, so you can use this in any automation you want.
All right. Fantastic. Looks good.
Thank you. So we'll move on to the next one. Now, this one, essentially, I think, a lot of people is going to be interested in. So this is the compromised mailbox. So we all know that, when there is a breach, we need to get onto that as fast as possible. But obviously, there's a lot of steps to check, such as signing out of all sessions, resetting the passwords, checking rules, email forwarding, MFA methods, everything like that. Well, this does all that for us. It's a nice and simple. It's the same setup as everything else. It's just one form. And when it comes through, I'll show you what the ticket looks like first. This is all it is. So essentially, it will update everything it's done. As you can see here, it's invalidated it. It's got password reset. It picks up every MFA method that is currently in use, so you can always kind of cross-reference that, and all the rules. So like you can see here, this is a test, but as you can see here, delete all incoming emails. It's even picked that up, so you know when just looking at this, oh, well, that's not a rule that should be there essentially, but it goes and disables it all for you. It will also then go and remove all the MFA methods, and you'll get a nice one-time password link. So this will only go to the ticket. I don't want that password link being sent out to somebody who's just been compromised. So yeah, essentially it will update everything here, and you can kind of put whatever you need next. If you've got a cyber team, the account's now secure, you can send it to the cyber team to go, kind of look further into it. And this takes minutes to run. So if you can see here, started at 6:56 p.m. and it secured the account by 6:58. So that's 2 minutes. 2 minutes of time. It's just really rapid, and that includes getting some reports and stuff like that as well. But yeah, it's really good. And from our engineers side, we've had a lot of positive feedback from it, because we all know how daunting it can be for a compromised mailbox. You got to make sure you follow the set procedure. You kind of understand kind of what's going on and stuff like that. With this, it takes over that. Essentially, they're not having to worry. All they're having to do is select the user and the ticket, and then it'll go off and do its thing. So it's really good for our engineers, and you can actually use this as a training base as well for when you're doing manual, because it updates everything in the notes. You can say, look, this is what the process that we need to take when it is a compromised mailbox as well. So yeah, there's two things you can kind of get out of that.
Right. So basically, you're just removing a human from a highly repetitive process. We don't want to have to put humans in between those highly repetitive processes.
Yeah, and a highly sensitive process as well when it comes to compromised mailboxes. There's a set process there. It can be time consuming, and all that time, anything could be happening to that business. So,
yeah,
but the simple click of a button, we can automate that within, like Gareth says, a couple of minutes. So it's a win-win situation, especially when we're using it alongside other security tools that show us location alerts for people logging in apparently from Saudi Arabia, and it's not. Instantly we can act on that alert just with a click of a button. So
it's great. Yeah, it's great to hear that in action, to see it in action as well. It's very powerful.
Yeah, it is extremely good. And again, you can use it as a learning tool as well, because you can show, any new engineers you've got a ticket like this, and because it's got every step in that it's taken, they're also going to kind of know, oh, okay, I need to go do this, that, and the other if I need to do it manually. So yeah, it's a good learning tool as well.
Excellent. Okay, good. Thanks for that. Great automation there. I believe you've got one more.
Yeah. So the other quick one I'd like to kind of show, and this goes back to just how flexible Rewst is in itself. So essentially, we have the password and MFA reset. Now, the thing is, this was very quick to build. This is due to the fact of, as I said, with the sub workflows, that you create something once, you can use it again. So as you see with the compromised mailbox, it does a password reset, and it also revokes the MFA anyway. So here, it's the same thing. I've took off like the MFA method, for example, which is here from the compromised mailbox. I've just added it into here. I've not had to make no changes or anything. And essentially, yeah, this will forever be there. So whenever you do a password reset or an MFA reset, I haven't had to go off and completely rebuild it. I've built something once, and now I'm just using it in a different way. which is extremely powerful. And you know, it's really good when you want to build, you know, bigger workflows out bit by bit. This is essentially how you do that.
Fantastic. Wow. Have you noticed a difference, would you say, in the amount of labor time that you used to put in now versus these automations? Has it saved you a lot of time, would you say?
It saves a massive amount of time, definitely. You know, there's the reactive part of Rewst that it does, you know, human created tickets where they're creating new users, those sorts of requests. We've also got it running behind the scenes tasks, you know, cleanups of different utilities, things such as like IT glue and bits. Those cleanup repetitive tasks that you just don't have time to do. We've also built Gareth has built flows in there for, you know, mailbox management in Office 365. So we're no longer hit unexpectedly with mailboxes that are overspilling with emails. We can act on it. But yeah, we're still in the very early stages. We've put a lot of work into it, and our next bit of work is to get a lot of communication out there to end users, because it's those people that are going to be using it on the client side. But we're seeing, for example, you know, it could be between 10 to 20 tickets per week go through there. We're easily seeing on the reactive side, Gareth, you could probably have more information than me, but easily, just based on tickets such as new users and that things alone, but around about 20 hours. But I would say around about 20 hours per week, maybe a bit less.
Yeah, we're actually on a bit more. We actually last month we hit 106 hours. So yeah, saving us quite a lot of time when you put it monthly.
It is saving a lot of time, and you know, scalability
over 100 hours a month.
When we're looking forward, scalability wise, it just means, you know, we can automation bridges that gap. We don't have to increase the headcount. Our clients like us because they've got a familiar team. We're not forever adding more and more bodies into there. We've got the capacity to allow our engineers into more complex tickets when they're sat at first line level. You know, they're dealing with more complex cases because they're no longer doing those laborious, mundane new user PC setups, account management type jobs day in, day out. We still have to do them to a level because some people don't utilize Rewst, but we can go back and say, look, have you seen this feature? This feature, you know, it allows you to do it there and then rather than waiting for us to do it. But yeah, the man hours that it saves each month is a lot, and it will only increase.
That's great, Charlie. I mean, I really appreciate you sharing that, and thanks for the demonstration, Gareth. This is spot on. It's exactly what we wanted to show, some of our audience today. And back to Charlie's point, you know, it's all about repurposing people to be, more kind of project based and having an eye on those difficult tickets that actually can now be eliminated, because now people are actually being able to work on more meaningful work.
Definitely.
And they're being utilized in a way which means you're not having to be repetitive in some of these steps that you've just removed. It's great.
Massively. Yeah.
All right, guys, thanks ever so much. Appreciate it. And have a good weekend. Bye now.
So, Joe.
See you later.